I was a gymnast for quite a long time. So the way I explain it to people is I felt like I could fly at some times, but now I feel like I have lead feet. We're gonna check out what AI said when I asked it for 20 cliches and quotes about fitness and training, and we'll see if they're applicable today. I'm gonna bring my stopwatch. I'm gonna time myself with each one. That way I try not to make this video too long. Let's get started. Now the first one, of course, no pain, no gain. I think this one is a very nuanced one. You're gonna have pain when it comes to soreness, maybe some discomfort, especially if you're training for the first time in a while. When you're doing something new, it can often shock the system. As far as you're progressing in your journey, if you're a very competitive person or if you are legitimately competing, then there's gonna be some pain along with that, whether it's mental, emotional, or especially the physical. That's going to come with the game as far as competition is concerned. If your fitness journey is to get you into a general healthy level, there should be more or less minimal pain that comes along with it. Again, exhaustion in the beginning, understandable, but if you find that you're sore all the time and just can't seem to get unsore, then maybe it's something in your eating habits, sleeping, or something with a recovery that might need to be looked at. Not bad, just under a minute. Fitness is not about being better than someone else. It's about being better than you used to be. Now this I definitely agree with. I think there is some nuance to this because we can't always control what happens. So if you get hurt, the better than you used to be could vary. I was a gymnast for quite a long time. So the way I explain it to people is I felt like I could fly at some times, but now I feel like I have lead feet. So am I gonna be better at flipping than I used to be? Absolutely not. I haven't flipped in probably a year and a half now, and well, I just don't see the point in it right now. I'll do it when I have fun with it, if I find a trampoline, but I think more than anything, you should focus on trying to be better than you used to be. Always push yourself, but definitely do not compete with others. That's a losing battle in itself. There's always disappointment at the end of that road. I should say, unless you're in an actual competition and you win, then compete against someone else, but that's the only time. Your body can stand almost anything. It's your mind that you have to convince. That's an interesting one. Now, I don't think your body can stand almost anything, but it can stand a heck of a lot more than we give it credit for. And it is our mind that we're gonna have to convince when it comes to doing things. So I will often tell people, when you get tired, don't focus on how tired you are. Don't focus on the number, focus on the form. If you have a major form breakdown or pain that comes in, that's going to tell you to stop. Don't let your mind tell you to stop. I tell my clients this on not only a daily basis, but an hourly basis, basically. And I think that is a very important thing that we have to keep in mind for any kind of habit or any kind of goal that we're shooting for. We want to be reasonable with ourselves, be gentle with ourselves, but we also want to make sure that we are not limiting ourselves. Let's just say you give yourself a rep range of 10 to 15. It's good to know that 10 is your baseline, but don't start out by saying, I'm gonna just do 10. Tell yourself you're gonna do 15. If a major form breakdown comes in or pain comes in, then we stop. Sweat is just fat crying. No. I don't even know if I really wanna unpack that one. I know people who sweat profusely and they barely start their workout. And I know people who don't sweat at all through an entire workout. So I think that one's just one that people like to say. But yeah, I don't use that one at all. That was pretty easy. The only bad workout is the one that didn't happen. I can agree with that, especially if you're actually anticipating on working out. Now, if it's a spontaneous thing and you realize you just need a rest and you're being a little too gung-ho, maybe that's okay. But if you plan on working out, if you're scheduled for 3 days a week of a workout and you miss one of those days just because you don't want to come in, I could say that's a bad workout. Maybe you convince yourself by saying, well, you didn't get in, so it's not a workout. But at the same time, you don't want to limit yourself before you've even gotten in the door, if that makes any sense. Maybe that doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. I think that you should at least try to get yourself to go in, especially if you have a trainer. The best thing you can do is just get through that door. If your trainer is worth his weight in salt, I think the phrase is, he'll give you the modifications you need based on whatever you're feeling, hurting, or anything of that nature. Okay, this is kind of funny. I've heard the first part of this. Fitness is 20% exercise, 80% nutrition. You can't outrun your fork. I haven't heard that part. That's pretty funny. I wouldn't put strict numbers to it, but I do think that exercise is a small fraction to it. Nutrition is a way bigger part. But yeah, as far as 80-20, I do like that as far as a general, the 80-20 rule. I do like that as a rule. But, I just like some people will say 96% of ratios are made up on the spot, or statistics are made up on the spot. I think that's roughly where the numbers come from. But you can't outrun your fork. That's undeniable. Strong is the new sexy. I think that's one of those phrases that I like it, but I can also see how it can be misleading as well. I think we're all strong in different ways. I think being healthy is the new sexy. I think that's always kind of been the sexy, and it should stay that way. But saying strong, I feel like you need to define that. And I also don't think it's healthy to tell everybody that they need loads of muscle on their body and to be shredded like they're going on stage. Or even to have a specific type of figure to their body. Everyone's built very differently, but I think everyone should have a baseline, healthy amount of strength to them, for sure. Believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. Can't say I've heard that one before, at least not worded that way. I guess I'm a little conflicted with that. I think we do have an inner strength as far as we can push ourselves more than we usually will allow ourselves to. But I wouldn't say there's something inside you greater than any obstacle. I am a Bible-believing Christian, so I do believe that the Holy Spirit is going to pull us through anything that we can't ourselves. And also, we're relying on God's strength to get us through, especially in the obstacles. But don't create obstacles within yourself, just like one of the earlier things we said. Don't let your mind convince you that you can't do something. Push as hard as you possibly can. When you feel that you're running out of gas, when you feel that you're running out of juice, and you still have that determination, I believe that's where God's grace and mercy comes in, and He'll help pull us through. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Oh man, could I talk about this one for so long? I don't believe in this at all. I think it's good to appreciate the things that you're learning from what you do. I think that you should have good intentions with the things that you do. But being under the impression that you should love what you do has gotten me in trouble in the past, and I know it's keeping a lot of people in trouble now, and probably holding themselves back. So no, I think the only way to do great work is to be focused on what you do, to learn from your mistakes, and to try to find what your strength is in everything, lean on that, recognize your weaknesses, and do your best not to let them hold you back. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Fitness is not a destination, it's a journey. I'll agree with that one. I don't think I really need to say too much on that, other than sometimes we can set ourselves a goal that puts us to like a point A to point B, but we don't think about sustaining it at all. So I think I did that backwards. Point A to point B. So when you're looking to, let's just say you weigh 175 pounds, you want to get to 150 pounds, and you have a specific figure that you're looking at on some Instagram picture or something. I think that's fine, but I think it's important to keep in mind that you have to sustain that once you get there, if that's what your goal really is, to sustain that. So when I get asked a lot, how quickly can I get there? It's a good question, so you can keep yourself kind of, have a carrot, lead by, or follow the carrot rather than whipping yourself with a stick. So having a good time frame is a good thing to keep in mind, but just keep in mind what's really more important is to acquire those skills in a way that you can maintain whatever your goal is once you get there. So fitness is not the destination, it is a journey, but just remember it's those habits that you're maintaining and acquiring and the disciplines that you're getting that are going to help you maintain that journey in the way you're looking at maintaining it. Fit is not a destination, it's a way of life. I guess that's like the same as the last one, but I also try not to say that it's a way of life, because that adds a little bit of a different nuance than journey. That can start to make us a little bit narcissistic from my experience if we start thinking that fit is a way of life. But it's not the worst thing I've heard. Fall in love with taking care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. Now, this one I definitely agree with. I just got baptized myself, and ever since I made that decision, everything else has been skyrocketing. I've been working on the mind and body for a long time, and I've always felt like something was kind of missing a little bit. I will say that I got off of my the faith journey for a little while there. So yeah, I would definitely say it is all three. If you're not falling in love with taking care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit, that's a slippery slope. You can easily start blaming others for why you're not getting in some direction, or if you're missing one, you can end up becoming, from my experience, a narcissist. And when I say my experience, I mean it's what I see usually happens too. Champions believe in themselves even when no one else does. I think there is truth to that, but again, I think that brings us back to faith, because there are people who don't even necessarily believe in themselves, but they're doing the habits that they need to do in order to win. Everything else is in God's hands. So I do think that it is important to believe that you are capable of doing what it is that you are setting out to do. And I do think that it is very important not to care or not to take care in if other people don't believe you. But I do think that there is a way to word that that doesn't make us end up, I guess, viewing ourselves as being a god in a sense. Your body is a reflection of your lifestyle. I think for the most part this is true, but that is a very weighted sentence given that some people can't control certain things that's going on within them or outside factors that are happening. So, if you get into some kind of accident, I wouldn't really say it's a reflection of your lifestyle. If you have some kind of genetic thing going on, again, that might not usually isn't part of your lifestyle. It's an inherited thing. So I think oftentimes, more times than not, our body is a reflection of our lifestyle. But I do want to make sure I have that caveat in there, because if you're watching this video and you're going through something right now that you have no control over, you don't have control over it. Just control your controllables. That's it. Don't wish for it, work for it. I don't really need to unpack this one. I'll just say this. When I took the word wish out of my dictionary and placed it for I'm working towards, it made a huge difference. So you can wish for whatever you want. I know there's a new Disney movie out about that. Wish all you want, it's not gonna work. You gotta work for it. There's no roundabout way for that. And you don't have to post everything that you're doing on social media either. So if you're working and people are thinking you're not working because you're not posting anything, just ignore that. Keep doing what you're doing. Eventually things are going to come through as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Learn from your mistakes. Strive for progress, not perfection. I think that is a key one. A lot of us can get analysis paralysis, or become completionist and perfectionist and all this stuff. And that can actually slow our progress down. So you do want to make sure that you're striving for progress. Try to build on the things that you have been learning and learn from your mistakes. That's going to definitely get you towards where you want to go, rather than trying to be a perfectionist. I like this story. It goes something along the lines of a teacher split a class up into two groups. One group was able to do as many works as they wanted to, trying to build the best one they could, but they had unlimited tries. The other group had one try to get, we'll just call it a pot, as perfect as they possibly could. The group that had basically unlimited tries, they were able to make a much, much nicer pot than the people who were perfectionists, because they didn't get the experience in there. So if you're striving for progress, that's where the experience starts to build. If you're striving for perfection, you can often shoot yourself in the foot. You can end up learning enough to be dangerous, which I'll make a video on that soon enough. So yeah, strive for progress, not perfection. I definitely agree with that one. I think that's a good one. The only workout you'll regret is the one that you didn't do. I think that's like one that I said earlier. I won't go too long on this one. I don't think you'll necessarily regret the one you didn't do. I think that it's going to happen many times. So just do your best to learn not to regret things. We all have things that we might be ashamed of. We all have things that we might not be too happy about, but regretting a workout, I think that's a little heavy. Just if you missed a workout, just get back into the gym as soon as you can. You, the person who's been saying, I'm getting back to the gym tomorrow, go to the gym. Just stop this video and go work out. Okay, we got 3 more left. If you've enjoyed this video so far, do the YouTubey things. I won't spend any more time on that. Your health is an investment, not an expense. I think this is good for almost anything. Once I stopped thinking about things as being expenses and started getting excited to pay for things, it's definitely changed my perspective on a lot of things, especially when it comes to being in the gym. It can be easy, especially when you hurt yourself, to think that you're not able to pay for your progress with sweat because maybe you have to stop working out for a week or so. I just had an infection on my finger. It was hard to work around that. But control your controllables. Eat the best you can. Make sure you're drinking your water, all of that fun stuff, because you are investing into your long-term health, your long-term goals. If we start trying to think too short-term on this, it will feel more as an expense, and you'll probably end up hurting yourself in the process or falling off. Sometimes people fall off just because the stress of maintaining something like that is just hard. So yeah, I think looking at it as an investment, it's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. I think that is definitely a better way to look at it. Success is not given, it's earned. On the track, on the field, in the gym, with blood, sweat, and the occasional tear. If you're not tearing at some point in this, I'm not going to say you're doing it wrong, but yeah, when you're really trying to go for a goal, there might be some tears there. It's probably going to be some blood and sweat. And I do think it's earned, not given. There are very few times that you're going to be offered a opportunity for success where you're not going to have to earn at least some part of it. So yeah, if you're looking for a pill to fix that pain, if you're looking for a quick, easy meal that's going to get you the best results when it comes to hitting your calorie goal or protein goal, it's not that simple. You gotta figure all these things out. It's going to vary. You might have to change it up here and there. So do your best. When you find the meals that work, eat them. When you find the protein that works, eat them. When they stop working, change them up. Don't sit on things that aren't working for you, and don't expect any one thing to fix it. Last one, we'll see if it's the best one. Fitness is not just about the body, it's also about the mind and the soul. Train them all. All right, well, that was anticlimactic because that sounds like an earlier one, but yes, again, I think that is very important when it comes to a social life, when it comes to your spiritual life, when it comes to your food, the gym, your reading, your time with your pets. Yeah, you got to work on everything. I don't believe in balance. I'll just say that right off the bat. Life is not fair. So don't shoot for balance, just shoot for training everything. As you see that you need more time with, let's just say, the gym as opposed to focusing on your eating, focus on what needs to be focused on most importantly. You'll usually already know the things you need to do. At some point, it is just about doing them. If you're not doing the things that you feel that you need to be doing, you're probably missing one of those categories, mind, body, and soul. So do some of that internal work. Maybe talk to a friend or a loved one, see what their opinion is. Give them grace, because if they're actually willing to tell you the truth, that will be hard for them too. So if they are sharing some information with you that might sound a little bit hurtful, just know that if they are, a true loved one, they're doing it for your best interest. But that's all I got for you today. If you're in your 20s and 30s and are intrigued in acquiring skills and habits, that's what this whole channel is about. I'm taking my lifting and training and coaching experience into a couple of other habits. The principles will be able to be applied to pretty much anything. Next video I'll be releasing will be another one based on protein, but for if you're that was great. Next health video coming up soon is going to be about getting your protein in as a vegetarian. My sister has been a vegetarian since I think she was like 7. Well, I've been around it for a big part of my life. I'll just say that. Maybe I'll get her on the phone and we can chat about it. We'll see.